Hey, good evening. I hope you have had a good weekend. Has your week been as crazy as mine? I don't know what it is about coming off of holidays. It's just crazy, crazy. Oop, sorry, y'all. I didn't realize I had volume up on this other one. Come on. Okay, there we go. So I'm trying something different this week to try to monitor for comments because I have a really hard time seeing the comments on. I don't know what it is about the layout. It keeps overlapping all my comments on top of the description. And so I can't really see what you're typing. I have to really decipher. It's like looking at some of those images when you have to type in a code. Anyway, enough about technology. Moving right along. How's your week been? Just starting over again. Um, I don't know what it is about coming off of holidays. It's like, um, I don't know, it's just hard to get back in the swing of things for some reason. I don't understand what the deal is. The holiday season just kind of throws you all out of whack, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, hey, we're making it. And you know what? We get to start a whole nother week tomorrow. So we'll get up and we'll do it again. See how this week goes. All right, so what's on my crafting table this week? Well, I know some of you are probably thinking, it's going to be the box reveal. It's going to be the box reveal. I was going to do the box reveal, and some of you are like, oh no, she's not going to do the box reveal. Um, I've been working on putting the box together, and I want to get some photos of the box. And so I decided here a few hours ago that rather than rushing and just kind of throwing it all in the box, so to speak, um, we're going to do the box reveal at a different time. And so it's just going to be its own special thing. And so we're gonna have that soon. Matter of fact, tonight after the live, once I'm finished with this, then we're going to work on photos of the Paint Party Box Valentine's edition, in case you hadn't caught on to that. And I did do a sneak peek photo, and I'll show you that real quick. So that's the sneak peek that I threw on the page here. All my days have run together this week. I can't remember if it was yesterday or day before, whenever I posted the sneak peek. So that's what that looks like. So you can see a little bit in there, kind of get an idea, but we're going to be doing some photos after I get through with the live. So we'll be we'll be sharing those tonight, tomorrow. Not real sure. Just depends on how quickly we get the photos edited and everything ready to go. So okay, we're back to life. We're back to our first. We have completed our first full week of after the holidays. So let's get started. What's on my crafting table tonight? Well, this, as you can tell, it's a cross, but this is it's a little sign. It's not a door hanger. Okay, this is actually going to be hung as part of um, nook decor, I guess is what we're going to call it. I'm giving it a name as we go here. Um, This is for my sister-in-law. No, it's not a surprise. It's not a surprise. She picked this one out, and so this is for her. And she has a little nook where she has a blanket ladder or a quilt ladder, and so she wanted this to hang on that ladder. So it's not a surprise. So she knows, and I was like, well, we can do this on the live because it's going to have some leopard print here on the cross, and it's going to have some looks like stitches going around the edges. So you know what, that'll be really cool. So we're just going to do this as the live. And I posted maybe a week or so ago. My sister-in-law Misty has a vinyl group, and she does t-shirts and other little trinkets, and she also does sublimation. I have to be careful with that word because I want to change it to something weird. Uh, Now I can't remember what, but I have actually gone into the vinyl shop and asked about t-shirts for that and royally messed it up. And the guy just looked at me like, what are you talking about? So anyway, she does that as well. She also has some jewelry that she does. Matter of fact, I am wearing a ring here that I got for Christmas. And so she does that as well. So this is for my sister-in-law. And as I mentioned, we're going to be doing some leopard print on the cross, and we're going to be doing what I call a little stitch pattern around the edge when we get through with this. All right, so we're going to jump in and get started. Just want to mention real quick while while I'm figuring out which one I'm going to start with, what color that is. Mentioned real quick to spread the love. If you don't mind, if you would, I would appreciate it. Spread the love to your families and friends. Families. Well, I guess people have more one. If you're married, you technically have more than one family. So families and friends. I'm telling y'all, it's just been just trying to get back into the regular routine of things. It's just crazy. I don't know what it is about the week after holidays. All right, I am going to start with a mocha color, and we are going to do the cross in a mocha color. So I am going to back this over just a little, or slide it over just a little. And I am going to start with this color. I was hoping by setting up my tablet over here that I could see the comments, but I'm not sure that's working either. So I'll check. I'll check in just a minute and see if anybody's made any comments. If you're watching, just say hi so I'll know you're there. I can say hello to you. I like to say hello to everybody who's watching with me. Thank you for hanging out with me, checking out what I'm doing. This week I've been working on, it's funny because I feel like I'm in round 2 of Christmas because I had some folks that saw some of the things that were done around the Christmas season, and so they asked me if I could do that for them. And so I've been kind of working on some Christmassy themed kind of stuff this week, so it's been pretty cool. I have not taken my tree down yet. I'm one of those folks that take it down at the end of January, so it's okay that I'm doing the Christmas themed stuff still because it still has a Christmas feel around my house. I know you cold weather people are thoroughly enjoying these temperatures. I don't mind cool weather, but I got to tell you, uh, when it gets down to cold, like 29 degrees last night cold, and I had to go out to my van and get some stuff that I had left in the van. That was not fun. That was not fun at all. I'm like, okay, this is too cold. I don't mind cold, but this is too cold. Okay, so that's our first coat. This is the mocha color. We're going to go with that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this one in black. So I am going to check my other real quick. Hey, Miss Hines. I'm so glad you got to see me live for the first time. Welcome, welcome. Glad to have you here with me. No, my comments are not coming through on the other side. I was hoping they would, but they're not. Oh, well. I will click back and forth still, so hopefully I'll be able to see them. If I miss them, if you make a comment and I miss it, I will come back and answer it once I'm finished, but I'll try to check from time to time and make sure I haven't missed anybody's comments. Okay, so I am going to do this area black. This one's kind of the neutral color kind of thing going on. So I'm just going to come in kind of close here, get up around. Get up around the edges of the cross. If you are signed up for the weekly e-newsletter that I send out on Sunday evenings, tonight's will be delayed, just so you know. It will not be coming out at, I think 8:30 is when it normally sends. I have it set up to send at the same time every Sunday night. It will not be coming at 8:30 tonight because you, as an e-newsletter subscriber, will get to see one of the photos that we take of the January paint party box. It's one of those perks to being on the e-newsletter list. So you get to see a preview of the box via picture. It's not a piece by piece reveal. That's coming. Like I said, I was going to do that tonight, but we decided we would do some of the do some photos rather than me just do some quick clicking. We would do some good photos, and so I decided I would hold off, not rush it, because I would have been rushing at the last minute to get everything set up for the live, and I just didn't want to do it. I just didn't want to rush. There are times when I tend to be that major perfectionist, and this is one of those. I'm like, if I rush this, then it's going to just, I'm going to finish it up and I'm going to feel like, ugh, fail. So I decided we will do the reveal as a special live, and we'll get the photos done tonight. And I'll get the box. That will force me to get the box all nice and squared away rather than just kind of being quickly tossed together. I did not just do that. Oh, yes, you did. Ah, baby wipes to the rescue. I don't know if you can see what I did or not. You may not be able to. Right there on my cross. Oh, yes. I threw a little black smudge across there. That's where baby wipes come in handy. Unless, of course, you smudge it and then you stick your baby wipe in the paint and smudge it again. There we go. Not so worried about the edges because I usually tend to go over those with a paint pen and straighten them up so that they're nice and pretty. Who knew that baby wipes would be so handy when it comes to painting? But they are. I've used them countless times to get paint off of me. Works really well. Also getting paint off of what I'm working on. like this, for instance. Okay, oh, I missed a little spot. Go back and get him. Okay, there we go. All right, now for this, and I'm trying to look and see, should I put another, I think I'm going to put one more coat of paint on the mocha, just to be on the safe side. Make sure it's got a good base to it. And then we're going to start with our Leopard Spots. I think I stuck my brush in wet black paint because now I see a streak over here. All right, so I'm going to very carefully come down beside my black paint here. Because obviously I picked up a little bit, got too close to my edge. Should have waited to do that one and let it dry just a little more. It looks dry, but undoubtedly there was a little bit that was not quite there yet. Make sure I'm still on camera. I have to watch. Sometimes I will move this while I'm painting, and when I do, I look up and it's not in the screen good. I've done a good bit of cutting this week, cutting out some templates and whatnot. I did it again, y'all. I'm just having one of those nights. I think the light is hitting this in such a way. There we go. I needed to turn it just a little bit. If I had done that from the beginning, I probably would not have hit my brush in that paint 3 times now. I have a light that's sitting actually this direction, or it's facing me from that direction. Let me put it that way. And sometimes the glare will hit in such a way that I can't, it's funny, but I can't see what I'm painting. I have a light to see what I'm painting, but I can't see what I'm painting. I know. Okay. I like the way that looks. I like the smoothness of it, so I think it's good to go. What I am going to do now is I'm going to hit this with a blow dryer. Not literally hit it, but just turn the blow dryer on and see if I can speed up the drying process here a little bit. So just bear with me. I know it's going to be loud and noisy. Just speed up the process here. While I'm getting this to dry, check and see comment-wise. It's so funny because I can see who's watching, from my little screen over here on the right, but I can't see any comments. Technology. Okay. Oh, I meant to mention that if everything blacked out, I would come back because I'm adding so many different things. Who knew it took so much to do a multi-angle Facebook Live, but trying to add where light is better on what I'm working on and all of that. It's just crazy that I was really a little scared it might trip a breaker. Oh my goodness. But all is well, all is well. Okay, so I'm going to start on leopard prints, okay? So I'm using just a flat brush. Some people use a round brush, but I just decided I would use a flat tip brush for this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the middle part. So here, I'm going to show you my watch band. My watch band is leopard, okay? So you see how there's a light background, and then you have the dark center or a darker colored center. Sorry, I got my elbow right in the camera. Um, and then you have the black outline, of course. So I am going to kind of mimic that. I'm not going to say copy it because I'm still learning with the leopard prints. I've done several now because with the truck attachments, the Valentine heart actually has some leopard print on it, and so I've done a little bit of the leopard print, but it tends to be a gap in between when I do it, and so the consistency of remembering how to do it, number one, and then of course the consistency of being uh, better at the technique is not always there. So I am going to jump in here, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create just a little patch, and I'm just going to dab this around. And no, I'm not really making a circle, but I am just making little patches. And so what I am going to do, I'm going to work as if it's kind of in a almost like a triangle. So you see I have two here that I've done, so I'm going to do one here. And you may see me go back and hit from a different direction. So if I start with my brush going this way, I may go back with my brush this way just to make sure that it fills in. I don't really want it to have any little white spots or the base color to show through. But I do want it to look kind of, I guess fuzzy is what you want to call it. I do want it to look fuzzy because after all, a leopard is fuzzy, right? Okay, now I want to do one over here, but it's only going to be a partial one, okay? So, um, I forgot to bring a post-it note with me. And I know you're thinking, what? Post-it notes are wonderful for this because you can lay them on the area of paint that you don't want covered. And then when you dab, or in the case of a polka dot, when you would press the um, round sponge onto the area that you wanted, then of course the post-it note keeps it from traveling into the area you don't want. All right, so I did not grab any post-it notes because it's the one thing I didn't think about. So I am going to actually use this baby wipe that I have. Let's see if this works. Cross my fingers. And I'm just going to do a partial one here. And you're not really looking for a true round spot, even though it is a spot. All right, so see, there you go. So I'm going to hang on to this because I might need it again here in a few minutes. Because some of them you want to go off the edge. A round stencil brush would be really good for this. And I uh, actually have been thinking about ordering some stencil brushes, and I just haven't done it yet. It's one of those things, yeah, I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it, and then I haven't done it. All right, so this one would probably go about here. Just thinking about in your triangle, triangle there, triangle there, triangle there. So to do a triangle here, it's going to go roughly about here. And it'll be mostly on the cross, but there's a little bit, oh, I'll just use this flat brush to get close to that edge. Okay. And you don't want them all the same size. I have been doing most of these about the same size, but you can see a little bit of variation, but you can do some smaller. And you can even do some bigger. And you can even do some that are kind of oddball shape. They may not be strictly circular. All right, so now I've got one that I want to put here on the edge. And it may not be a very big one. And again, I didn't get quite close enough. The nice thing about the right side of this being black is that if I go over, it's not going to really show up that much. All right, I am going to jump over here. I was going to do one there, but I'm going to jump over here and see how it plays out when I get over here. So again, just working kind of in triangles. Triangle shape. So I've got 3 there, 3 there, 3 here. So I'm going to put one up here. May make him kind of a long, not really a skinny one, but more of a oval look. And then we'll just keep working until we get everything fixed in. Okay. Hey, Misty, I'm working on your, yeah, bless our home plaque. Hanger, not a plaque, but a hanger. So anyway, I decided I would do it on the live tonight. I've not done the leopard print on a live before. And so I was like, oh, this would be something new or different. Oh, well, I did real good with that one. I covered up half of what I needed to cover. Okay, well that's okay. I can get real close to the edge with this flat tip and just come back. Now, what we're doing, we've done the base of the cross. We're doing what would be the middle of the leopard spots, as you can see on my watch band. Try not to stick my elbow in the camera. I've done that more than once. Did it a while ago. I was like, oh goodness. All right, so again, I'm just working with keeping in mind triangles and doing kind of a 3 pattern. So 1, 2, and we'll do 3 right here. We may do him a little oblong, and then we're probably going to get 1, 3, or 1 in the triangle group right about here. And I'm just going to give them a look here and see if there's any that I want to change their shape a little bit. This one is kind of really round, and so what I may do is give him just a little more down here. Make him a little oblong. Actually, I might, let's see. 1, 2, 2, 1, 2. Ah, here we go. Sometimes you have to kind of look and figure out, okay, if I were to put 3 here, then I could get 1 on this corner. So, okay, there's a little one there. And then maybe just a touch in this corner here. Not be a very big one. All right, so I'm just going to check them out and just see if there's any of them I want to adjust the shape of. I think I've run out of my darker. Maybe change the shape just a little bit. Also, want to see if there's any of them I want to go back and touch up just a little and make a little darker in the middle. Because sometimes as it starts to dry, you can see where the base color is still coming through. And so you just go back, just kind of tap in. And keep in mind, we'll be giving the black outline here, or putting on the black outline here in just a minute. So I want them to look complete, but also I try to remember that they'll have another color added to them here in just a minute. So get him just a little closer to the edge, a little more on that one. Darken him up just a little bit. And if you just tuned in the last few minutes and you're thinking, well, gosh, she posted a sneak peek of the paint party box. I thought she'd be doing a reveal. I was going to, but realized here a couple of hours ago that I would be rushing to get that reveal put together. And I actually have some photos that I want to have done, and we're actually going to get that done after I finish the Facebook Live here. So I decided I would wait until after we got the photos completed, and then do a separate Facebook Live with a reveal. So it's coming. It's just not tonight. So all I'm doing is filling in a little bit, just darkening up what's going to be the center of the leopard spots. And y'all know me, or if you're just tuning in for the first time, you'll find out if you watch more than once. I tend to get paint on me at some point in the Facebook Live. Either I stick my finger in the paint, or I get it on my arms, or one night I managed to get it on my hand and then got it on my face. So you just never know. All right, I'm gonna hit this with a blow dryer and let it speed up the process here while it's blowing. The blow dryer can do it a lot faster than I can if I were to sit here and blow on it or fan it. Hello, Miss Susan. Thank you for watching. A couple of spots here that are still a little shiny, so we're gonna work on them for a minute. Okay. Now then, what I am going to do next is take the black. Got a little bit in here in my tray, but I'm going to add just a little more. And if you're watching for the first time or you haven't watched in a while and you're like, that's an egg carton? Yes, I use an egg carton because it tends to keep the paint puddled in the bottom, which is a lot better than a paper plate. My paint, I tend to have the issue of my paint dries out because it gets spread out. And so I saw a lady use the egg cartons. And so I started doing it. I was like, man, this is so cool. If it gets, a lot of times, if you have to wipe your brush for certain techniques, then you can push it all back down in the bottom and reuse it. So I think it succeeds in keeping you from wasting a lot of paint, which is something that I tend to do, or I did before I found the egg cartons. Okay, so now we're just going to add that outline of the black. If you look at leopard spots, the outline is not it's not a straight. It has kind of a fuzzy or a squiggly look. And so sometimes you'll see where it comes up and it may go on one side and then another. And so by just taking another brush and dabbing around, what I'm doing is I'm getting that kind of fuzzy effect. And of course, it also helps to give it the squiggly effect. Sometimes you can do two, or sometimes you can do the C. If you look, I have a C at the bottom and a C there, and then I have a two-sided. Also, you can do one-sided. So on this one, I'm just going to do a little bit on the one side. I'm not going to add any more to that one. I'm kind of dipping a little heavy. I'm not getting much of the paint off. And the reason why I'm doing that is so that I don't have to go back and try to do more than one coat of the black. So you can do one side, and of course the black can have a wave to it, or a squiggle, or little bumps, or because you got to remember that the spots, of course, are on fur, so they're not completely straight. Of course, if you have perfectionist tendencies, like I do at times, you look at this going, it's not straight, it's not all in the lines, and so you kind of have to tell that part of you to look, just go take a nap and let me paint this, and close your eyes, don't watch. So I have to kind of tell myself that sometimes. It's like, okay, all right, no, I don't like him like that. We're going to bring him on around and just let him have a kind of different looking spot or outline. And like I said, some of them are in the shape of C's. So if you want to work on one that looks like a C, and I have done leopard spots where I just took like a round brush and just created. In other words, I just go whoosh whoosh with don't you love my sound effects? Where I would just make a single stroke around the darker spot, and so you can do that too. Either way, there's no wrong way to do this. I've seen both techniques. I've seen where they take a really nice round brush that'll hold a good amount of paint and just go around the edges and just kind of make a little squiggle as they go around and make the leopard spots that way. And then I've seen this one where it's kind of just a dab, dab, dab kind of technique. And so whichever way you wish to do. I've also seen where they do a three. And so this one I'm going to do where it has three black lines to it. I've done twos, I've done the C, I've done one, and now I've added a three. So on this one, I'm just going to go around, and I think I'm going to leave him at no, I haven't done a C up here, so I'm going to complete him as if he were a C that's partially off the edge. And then this one, I'm going to do as a two. This one could be a C because it's partially off, so it could either be a 2 or it could be a C. And then this one, I'm going to go all the way around on him and make him look like he is probably a C or maybe a two-sided on the other side. And then this one, I have an opening there, so I don't want to put an opening where it's facing the same direction. So I may do him as a 3, I'll look at him. And if I don't like him, then I'll complete one of them and make it a two-sided where one has a long side to it. So, all right, I'm going to hold this up closer so you can see the leopard spots. Once this dries really well, then you can take your white and you can actually accent further in your leopard spots. Okay, this one's bothering me. I'm sorry, y'all. Yeah, there's times when I just have to walk away because I'll keep playing with it, playing with it, and playing with it, and it only gets worse. So it's like, let it go. That was the worst song to come out because I end up singing it to myself and just let it go, let it go. All right, so that's our leopard spots. All right, I'm going to leave them be for a little bit. And I will probably end up doing the outlines and highlights off camera and give it a good time to dry. Just because sometimes when you try to speed it up, you still end up having some paint that still wants to, especially if you're using a paint pen, which is what I will be using to do the highlights on this one and the outlines. And so I don't want to get brown or black on my white paint pen. So you could use a round brush. I have done that before. Round brush and white paint and just sort of do your highlight marks with that. I've done that. It just depends on the piece. Sometimes I'll look at a piece and I'll be like, paint pen. Yeah. And then there's other times where I really like the look of a brush and the brush stroke. And so I will use it instead of the paint pen. Try to get this where it's not so touchy because I need to put my words on here next. And I do not want my carbon or my graphite paper or my template to smear the paint. Yes, I do have this on the high setting. And as you can tell, I did put a good amount of black paint on there. Because normally it dries pretty quick. And I am still seeing some shiny areas in these leopard spots. Okay, I'm going to give it just a few minutes. Yeah, some of it's still a little touchy. What I may have to do, I'm going to see if I can pull this off. Some of you may be like, oh no. All right. I normally use the black graphite paper on everything, even if it's dark colored. But a friend of mine gave me some white it just says transfer paper. That's what I'm trying to call it. Transfer paper. And so I am going to see if I can get this to work on here. Since it's black, I would really, this may be just a little bit tricky here at first because I don't want it to get on my, yep, if I fold it that way, it's going to be bad. Do I want to let this lay on that? If I get paint on my, template, I'm not really worried about it because I mean it's paper. I can always print another one. That's not my concern. My concern is that I'll move and I will smear. I also just realized that I did not check and make sure I put that on the right side. I may have just traced this and it not shown through. All right, so we're going to check real quick. Oh, it did go through. Yay! That's pretty good. I'm worried about smearing the paint on the other side, and I didn't even double check to make sure that I laid the correct side down. Because if it was on the wrong side, there would be no outline on the board or on the hanger. Make sure I didn't have my head in the way. Like, you know what? I may have my head where y'all can't see what I'm doing. So I'm just tracing around the letters. And then I will be using a brush and white paint for this. Make sure it still looks good. Yes, wonderful. All right, so all I'm doing is I've got a ballpoint pen here, and I've got my tracing paper down, or my transfer paper down on the wood. And I'm just tracing around the letters. One thing I will tell you about transfer paper, whether it's white or black, when you are tracing, if you lay your hand heavy and then rub your hand across, that transfers. Just take my word for it. Just take my word for it. Sometimes depending upon what it is I'm tracing, sometimes I can go fast with it. But when it comes to words and letters, I try not to go too fast. And I can't remember if I've done the top of that. Yes, I have. Okay. Couldn't remember if I did the top of the H or not. And sometimes it's hard to see your pen line on the template. Sometimes I can get the light just right, and I can see where the ink is on the paper. All right, so before I pick this up all together, make sure. Can't remember if I did the middle of the E. I did. Okay. Ta-da! Oh, look, I didn't get any paint on my template. Yay! It's the little things in life, y'all. It's the little things in life. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is I am going to find a round brush, and I don't want it too terribly big. So like this one, I would be all outside the lines in there, and so we're not going to go that route. I think I'm going to use this tiny one here. This one is actually, I think, a 3. Now, not all brushes are measured the same way. I'll go ahead and tell you. So when I tell you I have a 3, if you may have a different brush than I do. And it may not be called a 3. It may be a totally different number. But it is a smaller brush that I am using. All right, so we are going to try to finish this up and get the, actually I should have shown you the stitch lines that I'm going to do around the edge. I could have done that before I did this, but we're going to go ahead and jump on here and get the words done. And yes, I just started the bottom word, which is okay. I'll flip it around to do the other one. Because I already know what's going to happen if I try to reach above and catch the word bless. I'm going to have paint all over me and all over the board. You know, I saw where somebody who had painted one of these had posted a really cool idea that if you wanted to do this part in the black chalkboard paint, then you could actually use it as a message board in your kitchen, or maybe at your back door, where if you have a shoe, what I call a shoe drop or a shoe rack, where you could write little messages each day as uh, your loved ones are headed out to school or work or wherever they may be going for the day. I don't have a lot of paint that I'm not loading up a lot of paint in this brush as I'm doing these letters. What I'm doing is getting a basic layer down right now, and then I will go back and do one more coat in order to darken it up. The reason why I try not to load up the brush is that I have a bad habit when I try to load the brush up really thick for letters. I get a ridge, a really bad ridge. And so in trying not to have the letters look really goofy, I tend to go back and do more than one coat. Some people prefer to try to get it done all at once and not have to go back, but I tend to do 2 coats on my letters, just so that way I don't have it looking like a Grand Canyon on your words or on the words. It's just a personal preference. Like preferring different kinds of brushes or different kinds of paints. If you find one technique that you like, then you stick to that more than others. I am hoping this year, it was really cool in 2020 that I found a few different online workshop kind of things that and challenges that let me learn a couple of different techniques. So I'm excited about finding some things like that this year and broadening broadening the skill base for myself. And then, of course, I end up sharing with y'all when you watch. Also, would like to get faster with my um, lettering. This is another reason why a lot of times I will finish things up after a live, because a lot of times it takes a while to get the main part done, and I want you to have an idea of what I'm doing. But a lot of times I'll wait until the live is over with to finish up with the outlines and the highlights, because otherwise I'd probably be here for a couple of hours. And I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. I don't want to bore you to death, and I sure don't want you to get tired of watching and not tune in next week. All right, so we are just about finished with our bottom word, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just flip it around and get to the top ones. And then I'll go back, like I said, once the live is over with, I'll go back and finish up the second coat, because what I want to show you is this little stitch thing. And you've seen me, at least you've seen one other door hanger that I've done that has the stitch technique on it. So, all right, I'm going to flip this around. So, no, your world has not flipped upside down. I just changed the direction of the door hanger. This size brush is really good for these letters here. It's actually why I picked the brush, because I didn't want to change brushes 2 and 3 times to try to get all the letters done. It took me a little longer with the bottom word, with the word home, because of the wider letter. But this is why I picked the brush, because I knew I could almost get get the coating done with this brush just by doing one layer. As long as I don't let it run too far out of paint, I'm very close to not having to do 2 coats on this top lettering. But I will end up going back and do 2 coats, just because I like to make sure it's covered nicely. All right, so not much more to go, and we'll be wrapped up. I'll do the stitching. I'm so glad y'all are hanging in here with me. I know this one is just a little bit longer tonight than what I normally go, but I did want to show y'all the transfer of the letters that I do. I've shown a little bit of that in the past with patterns, but I don't think I've shown letters that I've transferred. So you had an opportunity to see that tonight. Also wanted to show you the leopard spot technique, because that's pretty fun and cool. And there's a lot of different ways you can do that. I will be outlining the cross in black, So it'll clean up any edges that I may not have, gotten perfect. Keep a watch for the announcement of when I'm going to do the reveal live because it will be separate. I just didn't want to rush and have it just kind of tossed together tonight. I want it to all be together and for you to see all the pieces that little party favors and things that will be in the box this month. I thought there was a little open spot to that R, and I was right. And I thought I didn't miss anything. Well, I guess that one little open spot wasn't too bad. Okay, I'm gonna turn it back around so that way you feel like you're right side up in the world. All right, so there is, let's set that up there for just a minute. There are letters. They are not smooth as far as the paint being level or smooth. I call it smooth all the way across. So I will put another coat on that. I will take my black paint pen and I'll be doing just some little edging around on the cross. But I do want to show you this one thing real quick and then I'm going to wrap it up for the night. Appreciate y'all hanging in here with me. Test my paint pen real quick. When using paint pens, always remember to leave the cap on when shaking. Just a little fun fact there. Okay, good. Looks like it's primed and ready to go. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start here and I'm just going to make little, what looks like stitch marks. And I'm just going to go all the way around. And I'm not going very fast. You may be wondering, this is a paint pen. Why aren't you speeding up this process? With the paint pen, I have discovered that if you try to do it quickly, that a lot of times it you'll end up with a thin line, and then you end up having to go back and do over again. All right, I'll turn him back around. There you are. Now you can see a lot of times this gets in the way and and then you can't see. You're thinking that's kind of an odd shaped door hanger. All right, so there's our leopard print, bless our home sign. I'm gonna let the leopard spots finish drying and then I'll go back and I'll add the little white highlights that go around the edges. I'll do the little black accents or little wispy lines around the edge of the cross. And I will, of course, finish out the bless our home. I'll post pictures once it's completed with all its little highlights and outlines. But thank you so much for hanging out with me. Again, Paint Party Box reveal. I'll post when that's going to be. Um, the email, if you are subscribed to my weekly e-newsletter for Quilted Treasures, that's going to be a little late tonight because I am including a picture of the Paint Party Box for you to get a preview tonight. So that'll be a little later, but if you're not a late person, late night person, then check your email tomorrow morning and you'll see where that's in your email box waiting on you. Also, this week, I will be working on sending out an email to those of you who have signed up for the paint party email group. And that's a once a month email, just shows you what dates I have open for paint parties, both in person and online, if you would like to host a paint party. Also, if I am planning on hosting an online paint party for Quilted Treasures. Sometimes I let Quilted Treasures do that. Was going to do that in January, but man, I feel like January started and I'm looking at the calendar going, good grief. So if I can work out the details for that one, I will definitely post and let you know. It will be at the end of the month if Quilted Treasures is hosting one. So, but if you would like to host one, simply message or text me, and we'll get together on getting dates and details worked out about that. If you are not on the e-newsletter, or if you're not subscribed to the e-newsletter that comes out every week, I will post a link once we're finished here, and you can sign up for that. And if you would like to be a part of the monthly email for the paint parties, I'll post that link as well. Or if you just want to type link, then I can send it to you directly, either a newsletter link or a paint link or party link, and we will get that out to you. All right, well, I hope y'all have a great week. Thank you so very much for tuning in. Keep watching for the promo and time of the January paint party box reveal. I hope y'all have a great night.